I will share again. Okay. Right. In our last class, we discussed about integer programming. Do you have any question with that? Integer programming? I think we stop somewhere here, right? The last one is we look at this problem. Okay. This is the last one, the bookstore project. Okay, and then we discuss a bit on this one, right? Okay, over here we have 6 farm. By the way, the integer programming means you have either there are three areas with respect to integer programming. One is a mixed integer, right? Mixed means one of it of one of the variables whole number, right? And this that's mixed, right? The other one is the other might be integer, right? That's called mixed. The other one is fully integer, right? Meaning that you have all the variables have to be integer number, right? And the other one is 0, 1. 0 means 0, 1 means yes and no. Only 2 choices. Okay, whether presents or not presents. For example, here I think we stop somewhere here. Okay, there are 6 farms. We have. Am I right? This is the last one. Have we discussed this problem, or we haven't? Okay, I will discuss about regarding test. Please remind me. Okay, have we discussed about this problem? The farm problems? Kita bincang tak? Reply. Happy or haven't we? Okay, there are 6 farms here which should be purchased that will meet the current production capacity at the minimum total cost. Okay, including the annual fixed cost and shipping costs. So if you look at this problem, what is our objective? What is the objective for this problem? Please answer using the chat box, chat room, or you can just voice out. So what is the objective here? To what? Are you with me or not? Sorry, the objective is to, okay, what goes, Khairil, to minimum the cost. What are the costs here? The total cost? We have 2 types of cost, right? One is the plant cost per ton to be shipped, right? So we want to minimize this, which is 18, 15, 12, and all this. These are the costs. And what about the other type of costs?
Shipping cost, Doctor.
The fixed cost, right? The annual fixed cost. Okay, so we have 2 types of costs here. So because of that, we need to give a different names or different variables. So we can call this as, for example, X, X1A, X1B, X1C, right, and so on until X 6, 12, sorry, X6C, right? So we want to minimize this. And the other one is this cost, right? Which one? The fixed annual cost, including annual fixed cost and shipping cost. So we have shipping cost. We also have the fixed cost. So we have 405. So we can call this as since we call this as X, we can call this as Y. So 405 Y1, 316 360 Y2, and so on until 465 Y6. So this will be your objective function to minimize the total cost of shipping and also annual costs. Okay, what about your constraint here? What are your constraints? The fixed cost and also the constraint will be the fixed cost and also the capacity. Okay, can you voice out what you mean by capacity? How do you, okay, let's say the capacity, the available capacity. So you have the capacity here, 12, 10, and 14, means your A plan, this is A plan, right? So A plan will be your capacity, right? And the other one is this projected annual tonnage. Okay, so can you come up with these two constraints? For the tonnage, X1A plus X1B plus X1C will be what? Less than or greater than? This is minimization. Should be less than or equals to 11.2. Okay, and then the second one is X1, X2B, X2A, X2B, X2C will be less than or equals to 10.5 and so on until X1A, X2A, X3, X6A, X6B, and 6C should be greater than or equals to 6.9. Okay, that is for the annual projection. And what about this availability of the plan A, plan B, and plan C? So you have plan A. Can you come up with the equation for plan A? What is the equation for plan A? The available capacity.
X1A plus X2A plus X3A plus X4A plus X5A plus X6A equal to 12.
Okay, that's very good. And the availability equals to 12 or less than?
Equal to.
Equal. That's very good because this is the availability. Yeah? The availability of plan A is 12,000 ton, and the same for B, 1A, 1B, 2B, 3B, and all that. It should be equal to 10 and so on. All right. What about the which one is integer? Any integer here? What is the objective? Objective is to minimize the cost, right? Which of 6 farm should be purchased? So we have 6 farm. So number of farm, is it integer or not? Of farm. The size of the farm is not, but number of farm is integer, right? How many farms you have? Okay, that's good. Anything else? What about the plant? Plant is about tonnage, so if you look at here, our equation, we have, oh no, not this one. Okay, we have the objective, right? As mentioned just now. We have X value and also Y. X is the shipping for the plant. We have all the ship from farm to the plant A or B or C, and then we also have the fixed cost for annual fixed costs. So this is X and the other one is Y. Okay. So subject to, okay, this is X1A plus X1B plus X1C is equal to 11.2. Okay, 11.2. And this is actually, okay, we have 11.2 for Y1, and 10.5 for Y2 and so on. So this is the equals, which is equals to it. All right. And we know that the numbers of availability for plant A, B, and C, which is equals to 12, 10, and 14. Right? And Yij is a whole number greater than or equals to 0, meaning that it can be decimal. Okay. But the Y should be 0 or 1. So Y is the farm. We can have 1 farm, 2 farms, or 3 farms. We can have farm 1, either farm 1 or farm 2, 3, whatever. Or we can have only 1 or 3, something like that. Combination of that, which combination will minimize our total cost. Okay. So that is the solution or the model for this problem. Any question? Question for this? Yeah. Is everything clear? All right. I asked you to try to not to try to use computer and see whether you know how to use the software to solve this problem. All right. Next is about this is the problem where you want to find which cities are you going to have a new hub. There are 12 cities here. Atlanta, Boston, Charlotte, Cincinnati, Detroit, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Nashville, New York, Pittsburgh, Richmond, and St. Louis. So you have 12 cities, and you need to select which cities to be selected. For example, in Atlanta, which cities is going to be the hub, which is within 300 miles away from the capital city. Atlanta is the capital city of Georgia. So which one, Shelley also in Georgia, and Nashville also the same thing. So which one will be selected? The question is, this company want to construct the minimum set of new hubs in these 12 cities, which such that there is a hub within the 300 miles away from the city. So they want to have a new hub for all these cities, all these 12 cities. But where are they going to have these new hubs? Is it going to be, for example, in Atlanta, or within 300 miles from Atlanta will be Atlanta itself, Charlotte, and also Nashville. But in Boston, you have only 2 cities, right? Boston and New York, which is within 100 miles away. In Charlotte, we have Atlanta, Charlotte, and Richmond. In Indianapolis, you have 6 cities, which is located within the 300 miles from Indianapolis, which is the city of Cincinnati, Detroit, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Nashville, and St. Louis. Right? So the question is, which cities that will be located to which cities within 300 miles will be located at all these 12 cities? That's the question. Okay, so that you can minimize the set of these new hubs. Do you have any idea how to solve this? Is there any number here? There is no number, right? The only numbers that you have here is the numbers of cities within 300 miles from the cities. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to minimize the number of cities, right? So what would be the variables here? What would be the variables for this problem? The cities itself, right? So X1 will be Atlanta, X2 will be Boston, X3 will be Charlotte, and then until X12 will be St. Louis, right? So that will be our objective, right? So X1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, into 12. Okay, you want to minimize that Z is equal to that value. Okay, so what will be our constraints here? So we need to have only one city, yeah? So X1, which is Atlanta, plus X3, which is Charlotte, and then Nashville will be X8, right? Should be what? Equals to 1, or because we need to have only construct minimum set of new hub in the is a hub within. Can we have three cities within 300 miles, or only one? There's only one hub, right? There is only a hub, means only one hub within 300, meaning that X1, Atlanta, plus X2, Nashville, Charlotte, and then Nashville, X3, Nashville is X8, should be equals to 1, right? So we need to have only one hub, should be equals to 1. And the same goes for cities 2. So X2 plus New York is X9, should be equals to 1. Can we have 0? Can we have 0 or not? Can we make it as equals to less than or equals to 1 instead of equals to 1? Let's say we select Indianapolis. We have 5 cities here, right? So Cincinnati is X4, plus Detroit is X5, X6, X7, X8, and X12. Is it equals to 1 or less than or equals to 1? Okay, equals to 1, but less than. Muhammad Ifat say less than. Less than 1 means there shouldn't be any choices, right? If less than 1, so we can have 0, meaning that if we can have 0, meaning that, for example, Indianapolis, we don't select any of this location, right? So that means less than. Is that what we need to do here? We want to minimize the set of new hubs in these 12 cities such that there is a hub within 300 miles away. So if you put less than, meaning that all of these might not be selected. So you can, for example, in Indianapolis, there will be no hubs. I think we need to have a hubs, so it should be equals to 1. So you get the point or not? You look at this, all right? You want to maximize, right? But then if you look at this over here, they put is less than, greater than or equals. Okay, if greater than or equals is right, huh? Is it right? No, greater than or equals. Can we have two? Can we have two cities? There is a hub. So that there is a hub within. There's only one hub. It should be equals to 1 instead of greater than or equals. If greater means that you can select either 1 or 3 or 8 for Atlanta. Okay? So for this equation, means that you can select more than one within the city. But then the question here, you need to have a hub, only one hub within 300 miles for every city. Unless you can select more than one, then this is okay. But if you have to select only one, the equation should be equals to 1, not greater than or equals to 1. Okay, and the last one is this Xij should be whether being selected on 1 means being selected, 0 means not being selected. Okay.
So it should be equal to 1 instead of greater than 1.
I repeat what I said just now. If you need to select only one, for example, cities Atlanta, only one of the city will be selected. Boston, only one of the city will be selected. Cincinnati, only one of the city will be selected. Then the equation, the constant should be equals to 1. But if you can choose 2 instead of 1, any of these 2 within Cincinnati, then you can make it greater than or equals to 1.
Okay, doctor.
Is that clear?
Clear, doctor. So for this case, it should be equal to then equal.
It depends.
Equal,
it depends on what is the requirement. But if you ask this, for example, here, if you read that there is a hub, there is only one hub within 300 miles, then it should be equals to 1.
Clear, doctor.
Okay. All right. This is how you solve using software. Again, please use your software and please run the problems and see what's the result. You can look at here based on the question just now. The answer is total hub is 4. Okay, Atlanta, there is no selection. Okay, Boston, we have 1. Charlotte, we have 1. Detroit, and also St. Louis. The rest are not. No, total hub is 4. Okay, so based on this problem. Next, you have this company, which is a textbook company. They want to develop 2 new regions. So this company want to have a new regions. And they are planning to transfer some of its 10 salesperson into this new region. So they have 10 salesperson. They want to transfer this 10% into 2 different regions. Okay. And then the average annual expenses for salesperson for region 1 is 10,000 per salesperson, and for region 2 is 7,500 for the salesperson, for each salesperson. And the total annual expenses or the budget for this is 72,000. Okay, and region 1 can generate 85,000 per salesperson a year. Region 2 can generate $60,000 for each person. The question is how many salesperson should be transferred into each region in order to maximize the increase in sales. How many salesperson should be transferred? We have 10 salesperson. How many of them should be transferred to region 1? And how many of them should be transferred to region 2 so that you can maximize the increase in sales? So what will be the variables here? By the way, why this is called integer programming? Why this problem is considered as integer programming? What are the variables? Okay, the person, the salesperson. That's right. So we have X1, X2, we have until 10 salesperson, right? That is the variables. Okay. So what will be the objective? You want to maximize what? Maximize increase in sale. Okay, you want to maximize sales. So what will be the equations? Z is equals to what? So we have two regions here, right? You want to sales generated is 85,000 per salesperson. So 85 what?
85,000 X1
X1 over X2
plus 60,000 X2.
we have two regions here.
Yeah, 85,000 X1 plus 60,000 X2 equal to Z.
Can't hear you. It's heavy rain here. Tak dengar sangat lah. Apa ya? Okay, we have it here. X1 and X2. Now you are saying that what is X1 and what is X2? Is the number of person, right? Number of person is the variables, okay, not the person itself. Okay, if you are saying that X1, X2, meaning you are saying that how many numbers of person should be assigned in area 1 and how many numbers of person should be assigned in area 2. Okay, so X1 is the number of person instead of the person itself. So we have 85,000 X1 for region 1 to be transferred. X1 is the number of person to be transferred in region 1, and 60,000 X2, right? Number of person should be transferred to at region 2. You want to maximize the profit of this. Okay, so X1 is the number of person. So we have X1 and X2. That's very good. Okay, what else? What about the constraint? So we have the constraint of the annual expense budget, right, which is 72. So what would be the equation? 10,000 X1 plus 7,500 X1 should be maximized, should be less than or equals to 7,000. Okay, anything else? So we have that's one of the constraint. Another constraint. What about the numbers of salesperson? X1 plus X2 should be equal to 10 or less than or equals to 10. What is it? We have 10 salesperson. So X1 and X2 should be equals to 10, right? So we have here to maximize the then generate the profit generation, right? Subjects to x1 plus 2 less than or equals to 10. Okay, again here, planning to transfer some of it 10%, meaning you can have less than 10%. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them means less than or equals to 10%, and this is the expenses of budget. 10,000 x1 plus 7,000 x2 should be less than or equals to 7,000, and then both, meaning the number of person should be greater than or equals to 0 and integer. Both are integer. Okay, so this will be the equation, the model for this problem, and this run in the software, in the solver. You will get the answer. This is the answer. You run at the QM for Windows. The answer for when you run for QM for Windows, this is what you get, right? Okay, but make sure I want you to use solver, right, instead of this. Okay, that is the problem with respect to integer programming. If we will look at the branch and bounds, right? If you look at here, when you want to solve integer programming, you need to make a selection of whether to have it location beside the surrounding. If this is your optimal solution, right? Your answer, because this is integer, and you can see at point B, the solution is 2.25 prices and 5.55 lifts. So this number is a decimal number of lifts, and number of prices should be an integer. So your solution might be at 1/6, meaning one press with 6 lifts, or you can have at point here, which is two presses and 5 lifts, right? So you have two choices here. Again, you cannot round up. You cannot say this is 2, this is 6. If you round up, round down, for example, here, usually when we have this problem, we will say that x1 is equals to 2, because 0.22 is less than 0.5, and x2 will be equal to 6 because 0.55 is greater than 0.5. But that is not the way, yeah? Because of this equation here, right? Because of this, you can see the simultaneous equation. If you do like that, then you might not get the right answer, the best, the maximum profit based on this. So because of that, you need to use what I call branch and bound method. Okay, you cannot just simply round up or round down. Okay, so you need to use some other method, which is called branch and bounds. Okay, let me share with you what it means by branch and bounds. Branch and bound actually is a method to solve integer programming problems. Right? Fortunately, you have a solution. You have a software, but then the concept of branch and bounds is this. The bound is an upper or lower limit of the value of the objective function at a given stage of the analysis of an integer programming model. So it's the upper or lower limit, that is the bound. While the branch is the selection of an integer value of the variables to examine for a possible integer solution to the problems. And that is the branch is the selection of the integer value. Okay, one, you need to come up with the bound, and then after that you do the branch. Okay, So branch-bound method is actually to create and solve a sequence of sub-problems to the original problems that are increasingly more restrictive, restrictive until an optimal solution is found. So we have this numerical methods. In numerical method, we have the method of 0 and 1 problems that involve a listing of every possible outcomes in order to identify the optimal solution. Okay, you have here you have mixed integer, right? And you have pure integer, and you have mixed integer problems. Okay, this is the as you mentioned just now, the possible solutions. Since this is integer 0, 1, and both are integer, so the solution here is not it's not an integer. So the surrounding area here should be over here or over here, but this is infeasible. Since this is infeasible, you cannot select this point. So the only point that is possible is this one, okay, or this one. Two possible solutions, which is the closest to your optimum solution. Okay, 1, 1 or 0, 2. Okay. This is the way how to solve this problem. Okay, we have what we call relaxation solution. Relaxation means you are looking for different locations, right? So that you can have the correct integer value. Okay, so first one, right? If you look at the solution here, for x1 is equals to 5.25 and x2 is equals to 2.5, your z value is 51.5. But then this is not integer, right? So we have to do the branch and bounds in a sequence manner, right? So the first one is we have this node here. Okay, you have to select which one, 5.25 or 2.5. Okay, the way of doing this is you look at this maximum, which one have the maximum bigger number, right, in terms of the decimal point. So here the bigger number is 0.5 instead of 0.25. The bigger number at the decimal point. This is 0.25 x1, but x2 is 0.5. So the bigger number is 0.5, not 0.25. That is why you choose x2. So x2 being choose first because its decimal is bigger than x1, right? Not the number, decimal is bigger. Then you start with x2 is equals to 2 and x2 greater than or equals to 3 between these two. Okay, x2 less than 2, x2 greater than 3. Okay, so if you do this one, right, that's the first one. Okay, if you solve this problem, let's say x2 is equal to less than 2 or equals to 2, right? Then your z value here is 49.6. If your x2 is greater than or equals to 3, okay, and your x1 is equals to 5.25, then your next value will be 1.0. Okay, the z value. So your first z value is 51.5. Okay, definitely this is bigger because it is the optimum one. So you have a chance to make x2 is equals to 2 or x2 equals to 3. If it is useful, then if it is equals to 2, then your z value is 49.6. If your x2 is equals to 3, then your z value is 51. If you compare these two, since this is maximization, so this one is bigger, right, instead of this one. So we will remove this. We will not select x2 less than 2. We will make x2 greater than or equals to 3. So this will be the selection. Okay. Right. So okay, this will be the selection. Right? We select this one. Okay, then after we select this one, we have x1 is equal, the new location once we have x2 greater than or equals to 3, if you look at here, okay, this is where x greater than x1, x2 greater than or equals to 3. X2 greater than or equals to 3 is here, but then we cannot select here. We have to select along the region, right? That will be our new, the new location will be 4.5 and 3. Okay, 4.5. Before this is x1 is 5.25. Okay, but then with a new location, right? If you look at that just now, you can see that x1 now is 4.5 and x2 is 3. Okay, with this, your z value is 51. Remember, we have to be within the feasible region. If you make it 5.25 with 3, that is not within the feasible region. The feasible region would be x equals to 4.5 and x2 equals to 3. So here, we already have the integer for x2, but then we don't have the integer for x1. So x1 is 4.5. We have a choice of either 4 or 5. Okay, so x1 could be, if it is less than or equals to 4, okay, then the solution will be 50.67. Okay, 50.67. If it is equals to 5, then again with 5 and 4.5 and 4.5, once x1 greater than 5, then now it is at the infeasible region. x1 is equals to greater than 5. This is x1 greater than 5. Now this is infeasible region, right? So we should remove. This is infeasible. We don't have to do the calculation because this is already at the away from the feasible region. This is our feasible region. Greater than 5 is away from the feasible region. So we say that this is infeasible. We don't have to calculate the value for z. Yeah? This is already infeasible. Now, if x1 less than 4, okay, our z value is 50.67. Our new x2 will be 3.33, right? Now we have 50.67. We compare with the earlier one. If compare between 49 and 50.6, since we want to maximize, we will not choose this one. We will choose this. So the next nodes will be at x1 is equals to 4, x2 is equals to 3.33. But then x2 is not integer number, so we need to have another branch, right? Another branch, which is between x2 equals to 3 and x2 equals to 4. This is our new branch. x2 equals to 3, x2 equals to 4. Okay. If x2 is equal to 3, then we have a new z value, which is 48, and over here we have a new value which is 50. Right? If you compare these two, then we should have 50. But then over here you can compare with the second nodes, right? But if you compare with second nodes is bigger than this one, so we can eliminate this branch. So the next branch will be selected will be branch number 7. Okay, in branch 7, you don't have any more decimal point. So x1 is equals to 3, x2 is equals to 4. This is your optimum solution, right? So this is what we call branch and bounds. Okay, I think please go through this again. Make sure you understand how to do this. It's already 4:51. Do you have any question? Basically, that is the way we do the branch and bounds. Please go through this again. If you have any question, we will discuss more. Right? There's a question about our first test. Can we have our first test right after our break? Is that okay?
What date it's going to be? What date?
What date? When is our break? Is the election is our break or not? Considered as our break?
No, doctor. It's different.
Can break, eh? It looks
For
like our
the
break.
for the mid semester break is on 4 until 8 December.
4 until
8.
8. 4 until 8. Can we have it today is 16, right?
Yes.
Is it okay to have it on the 30th? Our second first test?
30th,
No,
I
no,
have
not 30th. No, not 30th, sorry. On the 29th.
29th. Okay. One moment, doctor.
You prefer 39 or 30?
30, we have a test for engineering management.
Okay, we can have a test because your test will be at what time in the management?
No, doctor. Yeah, 29 is okay.
29 is okay, but then 29 is good for us to have a discussion, right? Do we have class on the 22nd?
22nd is
We do have, right?
Tuesday. We don't have, no. No, we have. 22nd.
22nd is the election. The election.
No, the election will finish 21st.
21st.
Yes.
Yes.
We will come back 22nd.
Are we going to have an online class as well on the 22nd? Any of you will not be around in UTM on the 22nd?
No, I think
Mhm.
I think election ends Monday 21 and Tuesday 22 is face to face.
But I think some of you still
Not around, doctor.
yeah, Fikri, will you be around on the 22nd, Fikri?
Some of our classmates is not around on 22nd, doctor.
Some of your friends might not be around, eh? Because it's just the day after the election.
Mm-hmm.
Macam mana?
Can we stick to the schedule, doctor?
What is the schedule?
Let me see. Let me check.
There is no schedule for industrial
There is no-
subjects.
There is no
Yeah.
schedule
No,
for
there is no
Christian
schedule.
research.
So can we have it on the 29th? Is there any problem with that?
29
29 is okay
Yes,
for me.
is
doctor.
okay.
Yeah.
No
We can
problem.
have it during our class, so we will not affect with the classes. So I think 29 during the class we can have a test. Yeah, that is possible. Right. So our test will be 29. We are going to have a class on the 22nd. I think we make it as an online class, eh? But some of you are still not in UTM yet. Ada siapa-siapa tak yang tak ada di UTM? Any of you will not be in UTM on the 22nd? Still not in UTM on the 22nd. No, the test will not be on the 22nd. I have test. Any of you will not be in UTM on the 22nd? Okay, in that case, we can have a face-to-face class on the 22nd. Boleh ya?
Okay.
Since all of you will be around in UTM.
Okay, doctor.
Okay,
Yeah.
doctor.
All right, good.
Doctor, also, can you tell us the chapters, is it until
until
what day?
whatever we have covered today,
Okay.
until the integer programming.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome. Any other question?
Doctor, can you open the attendance for section 7?
Yeah, sure. Okay, this is for section 27. Section 27, no? Okay, yeah, Aiq already scanned. Okay, visa already scanned.
Sorry, doctor, wrong section.
Wrong section. Alamak.
I'm in section 7.
Okay, this is